Hello, everybody. Today you study with me again with English for grade 11. Okay, you will study with me about chapter 5, Volkswagen. And we study already about Unit 1, so today we study with me about Unit 2, the journey part 2. Yeah. In Unit 2, how we study, you will study with the vocabulary, like the first, junction. Junction means participle noun. It means a place where two or require swing meets across, especially railroad. Junction means a place where two or require swing meets across, especially railroad. What does it mean in Khmer? Junction? What does it mean? Who know? Yeah. Junction means in Khmer ផ្លូវប្រសព Yeah, ផ្លូវប្រសព Junction. Okay, we go on the second word, countryside. Countryside that means participle of noun to mean land or outside the city. People living in a rural district. Countryside, part of speech of noun to mean land or outside the city. There are people living in a rural district. Who know what does it mean countryside in Khmer? Countryside. Countryside. The countryside that mean in Khmer, Chunabon. Yeah. We go on the third word, emergency. Emergency. Emergency that part of speech of noun that mean urgent or early with what to do. Urgent or early with what to do. What does it mean emergency in Khmer? Emergency. Yeah, បន្ទាន់ Yeah, បន្ទាន់ ឬក៏អាសន្ន Emergency. Should we go on the third word, the fourth word, set off. Set off that means part of speech of pressure verb. That means start departure to anywhere. Start departure to anywhere. Set off. Set off that means in Khmer ចាប់ផ្ដើមចេញដំណើរ ទៅកន្លែងណាមួយឬចេញដំណើរ Set off. So you pronounce with me again, please. Junction. 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 ផ្លូវប្រសព Countryside. 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 ជនបទ Emergency. 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 បន្ទាន់ឬក៏អាសន្ន Set off. Set off. Set off. ចេញដំណើរ Okay. So today we study about grammar with the conjunction. Conjunction with as soon as, so that, and verb. Conjunction. Conjunction. As soon as, so that, and verb. Okay. Conjunction that means is a word that is used to connect word, phrase, and clause. There are many conjunctions in English language, but in the unit we study with the conjunction like as soon as, so that, and while. Conjunction is a word that is used to connect word, phrase, and clause. There are many conjunctions in English language, but in this unit we study with the conjunction like as soon as, so that, and while. Conjunction មានន័យថាជាឆ្នបដែលជាពាក្យមួយដែលប្រើសម្រាប់ភ្ជាប់ពាក្យមួយឬឃ្លាមួយឬប្រយោគមួយហើយនៅទីនេះគឺមាន conjunction ជាច្រើននៅក្នុងភាសាអង់គ្លេសប៉ុន្តែនៅក្នុង unit នេះនៅក្នុងមេរៀននេះយើងសិក្សាជាមួយនឹង conjunction like ដូចជា as soon as, so that, and while. What does it mean as soon as? As soon as that means ឆាប់នេះSo that, what does mean so that? So that means ដរាបណា and while ខណៈពេលដែរ Okay. So conjunction is a word that is used to connect word, phrase, and clause. There are many conjunctions in English language, but in this unit we study with the conjunction as soon as, so that, and while. So we got an example. First, as soon as she went to bed, she prepared her dinner. As soon as she went to bed, she prepared her dinner. ឆាប់នេះនាងបានចូលទៅដេកនាងបានរៀបចំអាហារពេលល្ងាចរបស់នាង Begin a second example. She likes cooking, so that this morning she goes shopping. She likes cooking, so that this morning she goes shopping. នាងចង់ចម្អិនអាហារដូច្នេះនៅព្រឹកនេះនាងទៅផ្សារ She likes cooking, so that this morning she goes shopping. Begin. Sure. While I will play with my children, she came to my home. While I will play with my children, she came to my home. ខណៈពេលដែលខ្ញុំកំពុងលេងជាមួយកូនៗរបស់ខ្ញុំនាងបានមកដល់ផ្ទះរបស់ខ្ញុំ So you look at the example first again. As soon as she went to bed, she prepared her dinner. អញ្ចឹងនៅក្នុងប្រយោគទី1នេះទីហោទី1នេះយើងប្រើ as soon as នៅខាងមុខប្រយោគបន្ទាប់ពី clear ទី1គឺយើងមាន comma 1 As soon as she went to bed, comma she prepared her dinner. នេះបានរៀបចំអាហារពេលល្ងាចរបស់នាងចំពោះទីហោទី2 she likes cooking, so that this morning she go shopping. យើងប្រើ so that នៅកណ្ដាលនៃ clear ទាំងពីរដូច្នេះយើងមិនប្រើ comma នោះទេ She likes cooking, so that this morning she go shopping. នៅក្នុងទីហោទី3 While I was playing with my children, she came to my home. ចឹងនៅក្នុងប្រយោគទី3នេះទីហោទី3នេះគឺយើងប្រើ comma ដែរដែលយើងប្រើ while នៅខាងមុខប្រយោគដើម្បីភ្ជាប់ទៅនឹង clear មួយទៀតប្រយោគមួយទៀត While I was playing with my children, comma she came to my home. អញ្ចឹងក្នុងវេយ្យាករណ៍នេះគឺយើងនឹងឃើញនៅក្នុងបាទ section B ជាមួយលោកគ្រូហើយយើងនឹងបំពេញនៅក្នុង section B ជាមួយលោកគ្រូបងប្អូន Okay, we go on. So if you take the textbook with me and open the textbook on page 27 and 28, yeah, 27 and 28 with me. Chapter 5, Unit 2, the journey part 2, yeah. So now section A, talk about the picture, read the story, and answer the question. ចូលលេខមើលរូបភាពទាំងអស់គ្នាមួយលោកគ្រូបន្ទាប់មកយើងអានរឿងនេះហើយនឹងឆ្លើយនៅសំណួរសួរហើយនឹងឆ្លើយនៅសំណួរទាំងនេះ Okay, so now you read with me please. Last Saturday, George John and his family were invited to a wedding in a small town about 200 kilometers from their homes. As soon as they got up, they quickly paid their way, prepared some food and drink, and set up early. In one room, I strolled through the busy street of Albert. After some time, they were fewer buildings and more trees, and the air became cleaner and fresher. George and his wife, Susan, had no trouble with the route because it was familiar. After about 2 hours, they reached a junction and Susan, who was now driving, turned up the motorway. She drove through a small village in the middle of green hill and stopped under a big tree so that they could have a rest and something to eat. The sun shone brightly and the birds sang. Ron, George, and their son David got the food and drink out. Susan looked at the map. I'm not sure exactly where we are, but I think we're nearly there, she said. If we carry on like this, we may get there in time to have a rest before the wedding. Well, wherever this is, I think it's a lovely, quiet place, said David. After relaxing for about half an hour, they set off again, driving through the open countryside. On either side, small straight trees waved in the wind. Suddenly, however, the sky began to grow dark, and the wind began to blow more strongly. Oh dear, said George. If the sky grows any darker, I think it may rain and... We go on page 28. Quite heavily. Well, don't worry, dear, said Susan. It's not an emergency. We haven't got far to go. Okay. អញ្ចឹងលោកគ្រូអានចប់ហើយយើងចាប់ដើមអានទាំងអស់គ្នាលោកគ្រូម្ដងទៀតហើយយើងនឹងក៏លេខមើលនៅ conjunction បន្ទាប់មកយើងអូនយកប៊ិចឬក៏យកខ្មៅដៃគូសពីក្រោម conjunction នឹងទាំងអស់គ្នាហើយយើងចំណាំទាំងអស់គ្នាមើលថាវាយ៉ាងម៉េច conjunction នឹងចឹង conjunction នៅក្នុងមេរៀននេះគឺយើងរៀនតែ3ទេគឺមាន as soon as, so that និង while ចឹងនៅពេលដែលយើងឮឬក៏ឃើញនៅពាក្យទាំង3ហ្នឹងគឺយើង underline វាមកណាយើងគូសពីក្រោមពាក្យ as soon as, so that ឬក៏ while ដោយខ្មៅដៃឬក៏ប្រាប់ប៊ិចក្រហមណាប៉ុន្តែគូតែម្ដងមកគុំគូប្រទេពតាឬក៏មិនឈប់វាយើងគូសពីក្រោមវាអូខេអញ្ចឹងមកលោកគ្រូ again ណាស្ដាប់លោកគ្រូម្ដងទៀតហើយយើង underline វាមក Last Saturday, George John and his family were invited to a wedding in a small town about 200 kilometers from their home. As soon as they got up, they quickly packed their bag, prepared some food and drink, and set off early. A whirlwind asteroid drove through the busy street of Albrecht. After some time, there were fewer buildings and more trees, and the air became cleaner and fresher. George and nearby Susan had trouble with the route because it was familiar. After about 2 hours, they reached a junction, and Susan, who was now driving, turned off the motorway. She drove through a small village in the middle of Green Hill and stopped under a big tree, so that they could have a rest and something to eat. The sun shone brightly, and the birds sang. While George and their son David got the food and drink out, Susan looked at the map. "I'm not sure exactly where we are, but I think we're nearly there," she said. "If we carry on like this, we might get there in time to have a rest before the wedding." "Well, wherever this is, I think it's a lovely quiet place," said David. After relaxing for about half an hour, they set off again, driving through the open countryside. On either side, small strawberries were in the vine. Suddenly, however, the sky began to grow dark, and the rain began to blow more strongly. "Oh dear," said George. "If the sky grows any darker, I think it might rain, and quite heavily." "Well, don't worry, dear," said Susan. "It's not an emergency. We haven't got far to go." ឥឡូវយើងឃើញហើយយើងគូសហើយយើងឃើញ conjunction ហ្នឹងមានប្រមាណហើយនឹងចំណុចណាខ្លះអូខេកន្លែងនេះមួយ As soon as Tia got up, they quickly packed their bag. នឹងយើងឃើញនៅកន្លែងនេះមួយបាទនេះណាយើងឃើញកន្លែងនេះបន្តមកទៀតកន្លែងនេះណា She drove through a small village and in the middle of Green Hill and stopped under a big tree so that they could have a rest. And something to eat. Okay, កន្លែងមួយទៀត While George and their son David got the food and drink out, Susan looked at the map. ណាយើងឃើញកន្លែងហ្នឹងបាទ Okay, so we go on. ឥឡូវយើងមើលសំណួរមួយលោកគ្រូទាំងអស់គ្នាហើយលើកបិចឡើងនៅសៀវភៅសរសេររបស់យើងមកណាយើងមើលសំណួរមួយលោកគ្រូទាំងអស់គ្នានៅក្នុងទំព័រទី29 sorry 28ណា28 page 28 ចឹងយើងមានសំណួរចំនួន5នៅក្នុងហ្នឹងខាងក្រោមអត្ថបទរបស់យើងមិញហ្នឹងហើយយើងលួចអានភាសាពីរសារទៀតណាបាទទំនេរអីលួចអានភាសាពីរសារទៀតមកហើយយើងឆ្លើយសំណួរមួយរហូតអស់គ្នាឥឡូវយើងមើលសំណួរទី1សិនក៏យើងមើលសិនមកបន្តមកទៀតមិនទីទៀតយើងឆ្លើយមួយលោកគ្រូ Okay, question 1. Why did Troy, Susan, and David set up early? ជាសំណួរទី1 Why ឥឡូវលោកគ្រូអានស្ដាប់សិនសំណួរហ្នឹងទីទៀតលោកគ្រូបកប្រែសំណួរហ្នឹងឲ្យហើយនឹងឆ្លើយសំណួរមួយលោកគ្រូ Question 1 Why did Troy, Susan, and David set up early? 2. Why did they pay wait? Do you see? 3. Where were the small village? 4. Why did they stop under a big tree? 5. Why would Susan like to arrive early? Okay, justសំណួរទី1 Why did Troy, Susan, and David set up early? យើងសួរថាតើហេតុអ្វីបានជា Troy, Susan ហើយ David នឹងបន្តដំណើរភ្លាមណាយ៉ាងរស់រានដូចនេះហេតុអី Question 2 Why did they pay back? Do you see? ហេតុអ្វីបានជាពួកគេនឹងវិលខ្ចប់នៅអីវ៉ាន់របស់ពួកគេតែអ្នកគិតដោយមិនដេញសំណួរទី3 Question 3 Where were the small village? តើភូមិដ៏តូចមួយហ្នឹងនៅឯណានៅកន្លែងណា Where were the small village? នៅណា Question 4 Why did they stop under a big tree? ហេតុអ្វីបានជាពួកគេឈប់នៅខាងក្រោមដើមឈើដ៏ធំម្ដងហ្នឹងតើហេតុអី Question 5 Why would Susan like to arrive early? ហេតុអ្វីបានជា Susan ចង់ទៅឲ្យដល់ភ្លាមណាហេតុអីតើហេតុអីអូខេឥឡូវយើងកន្លែងមកសំណួរទី1មកលោកគ្រូហើយនឹងឆ្លើយឥឡូវយើងលើកប៊ិចឡើងលោកគ្រូអានចម្លើយឲ្យហើយយើងសរសេរចម្លើយដោយខ្លួនឯងនៅក្នុង Suppose របស់យើងហ្នឹងអូខេ Question 1 ណាមើលសំណួរទី1ដល់គ្នាមកចម្លើយនៃសំណួរទី1ចាប់ដើម 1. Why did Troy, Susan, and David set up early? The answer Because they had a long way to go. Because they had a long way to go. In bracket, about 200 kilometers to go. About 200 kilometers to go. Okay, again, the answer again. Because they had a long way to go. Bracket. About 200 kilometers to go. Okay, the answer number 2. Why did they pay back? Do you see? The answer. Because they couldn't return to their home at night. Because they couldn't return to their home at night. Okay, listen again. Because they couldn't return to their home at night. Yeah, question 2, the answer number 2. We go on the answer number 3. The question, where were the small village? The answer, in the middle of Green Hill, in the countryside. In the middle of Green Hill, in the countryside. We go number 4. Why did they stop under a big tree? The answer, because they want to have a rest and have something to eat. Because they want to have a rest and have something to eat. Vegan. Question 5. Why would Susan like to return early? The answer. Because she would like to have a rest. Because she would like to have a rest. Okay, anh chắcយើងស្ដាប់ចម្លើយមួយលោកគ្រូម្ដងទៀតណាចម្លើយនេះសំណួរទី1 Because they had a long way to go ចូលក្នុងកញ្ចក់មកយើងដាក់ about 200 km to go ហើយយើងបិទវិញមកចម្លើយនេះសំណួរទី2 Because they couldn't return to their home at night ចម្លើយនេះសំណួរទី3 In the middle of Green Hill in the countryside ចម្លើយនេះសំណួរទី4 Because they want to have a rest and have something to eat ចម្លើយនេះសំណួរទី5 Because she would like to have a rest បាទដល់យើងកត់មកបដៅមកណាស្ដាប់ហើយយើងបែកទៅហើយស្ដាប់ភាសាទៀតយើងកត់មកកត់ដាក់ក្នុងសភៅសរសេរយើងឲ្យស្អាតមកលោកគ្រូហងហ្នឹងអូខេ section A យើងចប់ហើយ section A ឥឡូវបើយើងកត់ហើយយើងបន្តទៅ section B មកលោកគ្រូទាំងអស់គ្នាមកណា section B យើងមើល section B មកលោកគ្រូដែលតេតូនវេយ្យាករណ៍យើងមិញហ្នឹងណាអូខេដែលតេតូននឹង grammar យើងមិញហ្នឹងconjunction so that សុទ្ធនឹង val conjunction មិញហ្នឹងអូខេឥឡូវយើងមើលណា section B read the clue បានចូលអានមកពាក្យលើហ្នឹង you them to fill any gap អញ្ចឹងប្រើប្រាស់ពួកគេទាំងអស់ហ្នឹងហើយបំពេញនៅចន្លោះអញ្ចឹងយើងមាន6ប្រយោគណាឥឡូវស្ដាប់លោកគ្រូសិនហើយយើងចាប់ផ្ដើមមួយលោកគ្រូបន្តិចទៀត Okay, number 1 he got up David packed him big number 2 George and Susan prepared some food they cooked it on their journey number 3 Susan and David ate some breakfast in the car George were driving through Off-Bridge number 4 They turned off at the motorway. The road became empty and quiet. Number 5. Susan got out the map. She could check how far they were from their destination. Number 6. Susan looked at the map. George and David got the food out. Okay. ឡើងចឹងហើយយើងអានអស់គ្នាមក បាទបន្ទាប់ពីអានហើយយើងយកពាក្យបាទ conjunction ទាំងអស់ហ្នឹងយកមកបំពេញមកសាកមើលណាសាកបន្ទូមើលត្រូវអត់ទេតិចទៀត correct មកលោកគ្រូអូខេ Okay. Let's start with me about number 1. He got up. David paid his bag. គាត់បានខកពីដីឡើង David បានរៀបចំនៅកាបូបរបស់គាត់ជាដៃគេ Okay, number 1 you complete with me please. As soon as ណាចឹងនៅក្នុងចំណុចទី1នេះគឺយើងបំពេញនៅពាក្យ as soon as មកលោកគ្រូមកណា as soon as we go number 2 យើងបន្តទៅលេខ2មក George and Susan prepare some food they could eat on the journey George និង Susan បានរៀបចំនៅអាហាររបស់ពួកគេខ្លះពួកគេអាចនឹងញ៉ាំវានៅក្នុងដំណើរកម្សាន្តរបស់ពួកគេនឹង Okay so number 2 យើងបំពេញពាក្យគេ Okay number 2 we complete the word so that George and Susan prepared some food so that they could eat on their journey. Number 3. Susan and David ate some breakfast in the car. George were driving through Albert. Susan ហើយនិង David បានញ៉ាំអាហារពេលព្រឹករបស់ពួកគេនៅក្នុងឡាន George កំពុងបើកបរឆ្លងកាត់ផ្លូវ Albert. Number 3, we complete the word. Wow. Okay, listen. Susan and David ate some breakfast in the car while George was driving through Albert. Okay, we got number 4. They turned off the motorway. The road became empty and quiet. ពួកគេបានត្រឡប់ទៅកាន់ផ្លូវម៉ូតូវិញហើយផ្លូវនោះគ្មានអ្វីសោះហើយនឹងស្ងាត់ Okay, number 4 យើង complete the word. As soon as they turned off the motorway, the road became empty and quiet. Number 5. Susan got out the map. She could check how far they were from their destination. Susan បានយកផែនទីចេញមកក្រៅនាងបានមើលវាបានមើលផ្លូវបានមើលវាពីមើលវាពីផ្លូវដែលពួកគេទៅកាន់នៅចំណុចគោលដៅរបស់ពួកគេនោះ Number 5 you complete the word. Show that. Okay, listen. Susan got out the map so that she could check how far they were from their destination. Number 6. Susan looked at the map. George and David got the food out. Susan បានពិនិត្យមើលលើផែនទី George ហើយ David បានយកអាហារចេញមកក្រៅ Number 6 you complete the word. Wow. Okay, listen. While Susan looked at the map, George and David got the food out. So now listen again with section B after you complete already. Yeah, after you feel already. Yeah. Number 1. As soon as he got up to prepare his bake. Okay, time một lúc mà. As soon as he got up to prepare his bake. Number 2. George and Susan prepared some food so that they could eat on their journey. Number 3. Susan and David ate some breakfast in the car while George was driving through Albert. Number 4. As soon as they turned off the motorway, the road became empty and quiet. Number 5. Susan got out the map so that she could check how far they were from their destination. Number 6. While Susan looked at the map, George and David got the food out. Okay. And អញ្ចឹងយើងសិក្សាពីនេះគឺយើងកត់ចូលក្នុងសភៅសរសេរយ៉ាងដែរណាកត់ចូលក្នុងសភៅសរសេរយ៉ាងមក Okay. ចឹងណាទំនេរយើងកត់ទៅឥឡូវយើងគូ on section C មូលគោណា complete មូលគោរបស់គ្នាមកគេហៅថាអីណា section C ហ្នឹង What may happen? Read about the situation. Then fill in the gap with what you think may happen next. ឥឡូវយើងមើលណានៅក្នុង section C ហ្នឹងប្រហែលជា homework ហើយណាលោកគ្រូដាក់ឲ្យយើងធ្វើ homework ឥឡូវយើងមើលសិនលោកគ្រូបញ្យល់មួយម្ដងសិនណាតើមានអ្វីកាត់ឡើងអាននៅស្ថានភាពហ្នឹងបន្ទាប់មកបំពេញនៅចន្លោះជាមួយនឹងអ្វីដែលអ្នកគិតថាវាអាចនឹងកាត់ឡើងបន្តមកទៀតណាអញ្ចឹងអ្វីដែលអាចនឹងកាត់ឡើងបន្តមកទៀតឥឡូវយើងមើលទី1សិន Number 1 Today you are traveling by bus with a friend. If you have forgotten your money, you ចឹងឥឡូវមើលទី1ថ្ងៃនេះអ្នក កំពុងធ្វើដំណើរទៅឡានក្រុងជាមួយមិត្តរបស់អ្នកម្នាក់ប្រសិនបើអ្នកបានផ្លេចលុយរបស់អ្នកអ្នកនឹងចឹងធ្វើអីបន្តមកទៀតបើផ្លេចលុយហ្នឹងធ្វើម៉េចយើងធ្វើអីចឹងយូរគេបាទចឹងដាក់មក you may អីចឹងមក you may ask your friend or you may ask your friend for some money ចឹងមកឬក៏អីចឹងមកណា Number 2 after the bus journey your friend has a headache if you tell him to your aunt's house see ណាចឹងបន្ទាប់ពីជាឡានក្រុងដើរលេងនឹងហើយមើលរបស់អ្នកឈឺក្បាលបើសិនមកអ្នកយកគាត់ទៅផ្ទះមិញរបស់អ្នកមិញរបស់អ្នកនឹងគាត់ធ្វើអីស៊ីគេណាយើងបំពេញមកយកទៅពេទ្យឬក៏ធ្វើអីឲ្យថ្នាំញ៉ាំយើងមកណា Number 3 when your aunt went to the market this morning she forgot to buy a cucumber if you visit her with your friend see បើសិនបើមីរបស់អ្នកបានទៅផ្សារនៅព្រឹកនោះសុំទោសណា sorry ពេលដែលមីរបស់អ្នកបានទៅផ្សារនៅព្រឹកមិញហ្នឹងព្រឹកហ្នឹងនាងភ្លេចទិញនៅទៅសក់មួយផ្លែបើសិនបើអ្នកទៅលេងក៏ជាមួយមិត្តរបស់អ្នកមីរបស់អ្នកនឹងធ្វើអី see she what Number 4 when you and your friend return to your aunt's house she cooking lunch you are lucky see ពេលដែលអ្នកហើយមិត្តរបស់អ្នកបានត្រឡប់ទៅកាន់ផ្ទះរបស់មីអ្នកវិញមីរបស់អ្នកវិញនាងកំពុងចម្អិនអាហារពេលថ្ងៃត្រង់ប្រសិនបើអ្នកមានសំណាងនាងនឹងគេ see she what ចឹងយើងបំពេញឲ្យលោកគ្រូមកណា section C នេះគឺ homework សម្រាប់ពួកយើងណា section C គឺ homework សម្រាប់ពួកយើង correct មកលោកគ្រូនៅមេរៀនក្រោយណានៅសប្តាហ៍ក្រោយអូខេចឹងលោកគ្រូគាត់ផ្ដាំផ្ញើចេះនៅពេលទំនេរយើងមើលសភៅផងណាមើលសភៅផងសម័យកូវីដហ្នឹងគឺយើងមើលសភៅកុំមើលតែទូរស័ព្ទពេកបាទហើយថែរក្សាសុខភាពបងប្អូនត្រូវលាងដៃនៅកុលបាទណាកុំភ្លេច3កុំនិង3ការពារបាទកុំភ្លេចសោះ3ហ្នឹងបាទជាវានៅការឆ្លងរីករាលដាលរបស់ជំងឺលោកកាសាហាវនេះហ្នឹងណាបាទយើងវាពីពេញពិភពលោកហើយអញ្ចឹងជូនពរដល់អ្នកសុខសប្បាយណាសុខសុវត្ថិភាពសុខភាពល្អដល់អ្នកអូខេ good luck